Myself and other volunteers have stood with Tommy and Jay outside the council buildings now for 22 days with no engagement by the authorities. We're weary, but we can go home to our beds. We have no idea the toll this is having on Tommy and Jay. They have to get into a cold tent every night and start their protest again the next day. There are over 270 boarded up buildings in Wicklow County alone. There are hundreds of thousands of empty properties in the hands of NAMA. We are in a national housing emergency that has been manufactured so that they can privatise council housing. We need to get our people off the streets. They need to open up these buildings now.
Is that there are very simple demands we need to make on this government, and they do make political choices. It's not an accident, it's not just systemic that things don't happen fast enough. It's a political choice not to build social housing, not to look after the homeless people, and to push everything into the private developers to make profit. And what we're saying here today is declare that emergency. That will allow you, like you declared an emergency when you took the money from the nurses and the doctors and the teachers during the crisis. They passed emergency legislation to take money out of their wages and pensions. Pass emergency legislation now. Tell the European Union to go to hell with their fiscal rules. We're borrowing on the market to build social housing for our population. That would be a start. And those resources could be used like that. There are hundreds of empty properties, probably thousands of empty council properties in this country that should be immediately opened up and refurbished. NAMA has tens of thousands of properties. That's our property. That's our money. We need to take that back. Rent controls need to be implemented immediately. And vacant site levies and evictions should be all sorted out. It is not rocket science. But the first thing the government have to do, and I know it's the demand of today's march, is to declare a housing emergency, break the fiscal rules, look after the population, the travellers and the refugees and the homeless. Everybody who lives here has a right to be here and has a right to be housed.
Thanks, Ray. The next speaker doesn't need to be introduced.